Just wanna be the girl you like. Girl you like is right here with me. Let's see. Okay, it is working. Now, see, I put a whole nother title up here. Let me see if it's gonna let me. It will. I'm gonna fix this shit. What the heck? So rude. Uh, now I gotta go on YouTube. YouTube. Shit, I ain't never finished. Okay, so I'm live on YouTube and it actually worked on YouTube. Wow, okay. The title. After this week, I'm probably gonna fade back to black and probably not come back until like Christmas time. But I had to leave. Well, I might not be gone, but this will probably be the only live I'll do and within that time. But I want to talk about this before I decide to go on my other hiatus. And I was just thinking to myself and journaling and, just talking to God and having those conversations. And I realized we don't talk enough about the battle it is to be human, right? And I want people to understand that even if we go, and I'm going to correlate a lot of things I say to the Bible because I think that's what hits home for a lot of people. Most everybody is default a Christian. So when we say things about your flesh being weak and not leading into temptation, a lot of people are referencing to like the biggest thing they can think of. You think about sex, you think about drugs, you think about alcohol. You don't think about the small things that leads you to temptation or that, means that your flesh is weak. Small things like, hey, you got this big goal, right? God placed a vision on your life to do something, and you know what that is. And you made goals surrounding it. And, you get organized and you start being more task related and resourceful. You're doing the things, but all of a sudden, maybe, hey, you got a task related to this huge goal that you made. And instead of going ahead and doing the task, you like, oh, my couch look comfortable, my bed calling me, I want to watch TV, right? That is another form of leading into temptation. That's another form of leading into temptation. And a lot of us do that. A lot of us know we have something we got to do, especially if it's related to our life's purpose and goals and things. And sometimes we just procrastinate or we just put it on the back burner. We be lazy and we don't work on those things, right? And I think that we don't, like I said, we don't talk about those things being temptations because to us, we think about the hugest thing or the worst thing in our minds that can get in the way of us becoming the best version of ourselves. We think of, like I said, other people. We think of sex, or we think of drugs, or we think of alcohol. Those are the temptations that we are typically always talking about, but it's not that. That's not It's not just that. It's that bed calling you when you know you need to work. And the only reason I have to talk about this, because this is a battle that I have with myself all the time. It is a struggle I've definitely dealt with. Like I said, yesterday I wanted to go live and kind of talk about some of the things that I've been going through, especially in the last couple of years for sure. But it's this internal struggle to balance yourself as a human and yourself as a soul, right? Because I know a lot of people just think they just human. They don't realize the expanse, the expansive being that's inside of them. This body is temporary. Please believe the grand scheme of your entire existence, when you are having this human experience, is very small in the grand scheme of everything, right? And I think a lot of people can't even fathom that, because y'all can't see anything outside of being a human right now in this time. But we are more than just human, right? So flesh is already the sin. When you were born, you were already born into sin. You were already destined to sin just because you are human, right? The only people who don't experience sin yet are babies. That's why we love babies. They innocent. They really have not done anything yet, right? But let's think about it. Even when we think about toddlers, nobody teaches toddlers to lie, but they lie. They make things up. It might not even be a lie to them, but it still is a lie because it's not the truth. Or sometimes they don't know. They know that they're lying, but they lie to protect themselves. And guess what? Lying is a sin, ain't it? So as soon as we're able to talk, sometimes we turn into a sinner. Your humanness is the sin itself. And the only reason I'm painting a picture like that is because, again, I don't really believe in the things that y'all believe like that, because I am like I said, I was born Southern Baptist, and please believe me, God is still running all through my veins. But religion is something that I don't really care for, because even Jesus Christ didn't care about religion. So I'm pretty sure Jesus, wherever he may be, is probably just like, these people are really just doing the most in my name, and I never told them that's what they should be doing, right? So I'm saying, I'm painting a picture so y'all can understand the struggle it is just to be born and be a human. So let's dig a little deep. So like I said, I've been having this issue because I know who I am. I have known who I was for quite some time now. I have known that I don't fit in. I feel bigger than being a human. I felt this way since I was a child. Like, yeah, I'm this person, but something is not right. I'm bigger than this. This is just, it's got to be more to it. I've always felt that way. And when I was a child, there have been many instances where I just wanted to escape and try to understand what was really up with me. Because first of all, for a good little while in my life, I was damn near mute. I barely talked. I done shared this story a couple times, but I barely talked when I was a child. And some of my family could come on here and attest to that. I barely talked. I want to talk to people. Especially if you lived outside of my household, my relatives, no, talk to you what? I don't want to even say, hey, why do I have to talk? That was my mind, like, why do I have to talk, right? And I realized now as an adult, I was neurodivergent. I had it really bad when I was a child. Nobody knew. I mean, we talking about the 90s. Nobody even really understood what neurodivergent was or autism. Nobody understood what that shit was. So, and then again, when women go through neurodivergent tendencies, ADHD, autism, especially Black, it does not show up the same as it does in boys. See, boys they act differently than us. So I had to struggle with that. Then I got older. I kind of grew out of it, because I was forced into social situations. I learned how to turn on a mask that made people either leave me alone or just know how to kind of handle me, I guess. And, started developing a bit more socially. But I've always been weird. Always been weird, different, whatever. I've always had these quirks and I just never understood it. Like I was one of those kids who, oh, please don't smack around me. That type of stimulation would drive me insane. Don't smack around me. And people don't understand that is a ND. That's ND. If somebody does not want you to smack around them, like it drives them insane, that is a characteristic of being neurodivergent. And I hated it. Oh my God, that was something that I really hated. Now, like I said, some things you grow out of, you become more tolerant, you become more mature, you become more aware of yourself and your quirks and things that bother you, and you learn to adjust to those things. But one thing I have always, and I have to fight myself with, is being a consistent person. And I do a lot of things. Like I accomplish a lot. Like where people struggle with confidence, I don't struggle with confidence. I really have the mindset of I can do anything I put my mind to, because I've proven that to myself a lot of the time. I've proven that to myself rather. And my problem is not confidence. My problem is I don't feel like doing it, or I don't know. It's this block of I don't feel like doing it, right? And I've been learning too more about myself that, this is your neurodivergence manifesting in real time. You can't stick to one thing. You got to work on multiple things at one time. That is me. I can't stick to one thing and I get bored easy. I'm not a consistent person. You know what I'm saying? I tell people this, like, and I have to learn that about myself, like how inconsistent I really am, because I have to always be moving on to the next thing. And then also my moon is in Aries. That has a lot to do with it too. But it's just like I have such a struggle of staying on one thing. I want to try everything. Right? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But there's this internal battle you're going to always go through when especially when you know how expansive your soul is. Like when you know you are more than just a human, because a lot of people don't know that they're more than just a human. They are stuck. They are still 3D. They just stuck, But when you know that you're more than just a human, and like I said, better, but you have to fight yourself to even do better, because your flesh, right? It keeps you stuck. It keeps you stuck sometimes. Being a human can keep you stuck. And I think that's one of the most frustrating parts about it, is that you like, oh, I know if I do this, if I complete this, if I become this way, if I pick up this new habit, I could be everything I want to be. I be everything God told me I could be. You can know that. But to actually walk in that path is one of the most difficult things. And it's not even external battle. I mean, you're going to have external battles, don't get me wrong. But it's more of an internal battle that we have to focus on more than the external. Because if we can't get right inside, ain't no way we can go out in the world and fight that fight, right? The spiritual warfare is you fighting your own humanness, meaning your soul and your human side, or you could say your soul, higher self and lower self, your soul versus your personality, whatever you want to say. The spiritual warfare is within you. It's you fighting yourself. And we always talk about these things, but we don't really I don't hear people talk about it the way I'm saying it. Like people don't go into depth of saying, hey, you have to learn how to not lead into temptation. Temptation is not just sex, drugs, and alcohol, or hanging out with the wrong crowd. Temptation is You telling yourself, hey, instead of finishing up this task that you know you need to do, you're finna go lay down and watch TV. That's temptation. But because we don't think of it as being a bad thing, you're like, oh, it can't be that bad for me to go lay down and watch TV instead of finishing this task. I'm not hurting anybody. No, not necessarily. You're not. But you are coming in between your own destiny in a sense. And when I say these things, I'm never saying it from a space of I have mastered. Like, it's some things I've mastered in life, no doubt. But I have not mastered that. Right? This is probably something I'm gonna have to fight for a good long fight. I'm 35 and I'm still over here trying to figure out how to peel myself off the couch sometimes just to get up and do what I need to do, right? And I win a good bit of the time, but there's sometimes I lose. And I ain't gonna lie, like I said, the better half of, I say last year, I was losing a lot because I just couldn't. I don't know. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. No matter how hard I was fighting, and I was fighting really hard. I just could not. I don't know. And internal battle is way harder than any external battle I've ever had to deal with. I can fight you people anytime, right? And I'm not even talking about like a physical fight. I'm just saying, like, I can fight externally very fine. I'm cool going out in the outside world and defending myself and standing on my square. But me having to fight myself, that shit hard. it brings you to tears like a baby. Because you are like, oh my God, I know better. I know I shouldn't be doing these things. You know, but you do them anyway. That's the flesh. That's your human. That's the sin. You was born into sin. And like I said, I'm not religious, so I don't really believe in sin like how most people, but I know that some people do. So I want y'all to kind of correlate it to how we are, right? And what we tend to believe in. And your flesh alone already sets you up for failure. It do. That's the temptation already right there, because you were born in the flesh in a 3D world where we are so programmable, so easily, susceptible to other people's bullshit and belief systems and what we should be doing and how we should be. It's so easy to get sucked in. It's just so easy. So easy to get sucked in. Right? And I just feel like, if you are somebody like me who's neurodivergent, it's even harder, because you look around and you like, okay, I know I have a higher level of thinking, right? I know I know I'm this expansive being. I'm like this alien, right? But why am I still so human at the same time? You ask yourself those questions when you're neurodivergent. You're just like, why am I still just feel so human? It's icky sometimes, right? Some people don't have that problem. When y'all are normal, you don't have that problem. Likely. You likely don't have that problem. You just cool. You cool being a human, and you with all the bullshit that come with it, because it do be a lot of bullshit. Y'all be cool with it. But then you gotta also think about too, the average human really is just not expensive. Sorry, the average human is cool with being a robot, going with the day to day, conforming to what society says they should be, how they should act, and what they should do. When you are divergent, that's why they have movies and stuff like that, because art imitates life. People shun you. And let's talk about that too, because there are so many. I was listening to somebody earlier. There's so many people who I feel like are kind of are kind of like a prophet, right? And it's not a lot of people I would say that to. But it's some people who, you just listen to, you see they post or whatever, and you like, man, this person has anointing. It touches me, right? And I'm not talking about even clergy people. I'm talking about regular, everyday people outside of religion. Some people say that about me. I'm not going to say it about myself because then it's going to be like, oh, girl, you got a big head. But there's things I've heard to people in my real life about how I present myself and how I speak. And it's weird because people who are in this position, it seems as though nobody wants to listen or think that we don't know what we're talking about, or they judge by your past because they're like, how you came from such this worldly background. How can you feel like you can tell anybody anything? But can y'all think about all the prophets that we know in the Bible and all the things that they had to go through and before they became a prophet or before Jesus? We don't even know how Jesus lived his life before. We only know a little bit about him as a child. And then all of a sudden they fast forward to him being 33. What did Jesus do in between that time? What did he experience? I feel like that's more of the real story. But no, we're not gonna tell you all of that. That's a whole nother subject. Don't let me get into the Bible talk, because then I'm gonna be like, look, that might be my next live. I don't know, next time I come back. But yeah, it is hard. That's why I tell people we have to be kind. We need each other. Like, we need each other as humans. It's hard enough by yourself in this solitary path you must take. I don't care. You can have a million people around you. You still have your own solitary path to take. And it's one of the most difficult things. It is the most difficult thing about life, right? Not one of, it is the most difficult thing about life. That solitary path you have to take. And I just feel like when we know that about each other, we should be more kinder to each other. So what if this person lives a life that you would never live? God didn't make us all the same. We're not supposed to be living the same life. We're not supposed to believe all of the same things. We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to do the same things. And I think one of the things that makes us so separate from each other is we are always looking for ways to be different from other people, when we are more alike than we are different. And it costs you nothing to be nice. It costs you nothing to be kind. It costs you nothing to love your fellow neighbor until they prove that you don't have to, right? Because I'm not one of those people that I just give my love out willy-nilly. Like, I love you by default just because you're a human. But the moment I realize you don't have any love for me, I gotta tone that down, that part of me, and put up a defense, because I know you are not that. You're not like me. So I can't be that way with you, right? But we have to really walk in life understanding that, like, why can't love be your default emotion? Why are you always looking at somebody and like, oh my God, I'm different from that person. That person is white. That person got straight hair. That's a man over there. He fat. You know what I'm saying? This is what people do. This is how y'all perceive other people. Y'all just go through, y'all scan somebody, and probably in the next 10 seconds, you are picking them apart in ways and how you different. I don't do that all the time. I ain't gonna say I never, but I don't do that all the time. I rarely do that. And when I find myself doing that, I stop myself, because I'm like, girl, it's not even that serious. That's just another human out over there. Why am I picking them apart? Why am I focusing on the ways that we are different? Because I guarantee if I sit down and I talk to that person, we're going to find ways that we're alike. Because every time I talk to somebody who I don't know, we just randomly spark up conversations with a human, you always find a way y'all are alike. It could be somebody who is completely opposite of me. Matter of fact, the day that we went to vote, I ran into this dude. He was a tall, blonde, white, older man. Totally opposite of me, right? And me and him, we was keying in there. We was chatting it up. We was just talking about, the world. We was talking about, our family, some of the loss that we experienced over the last couple of years. We connected. I still don't know that man from a can of paint. But I go through life looking in ways that I can connect to other people. I'm not looking at how I can separate myself. And I just, for the life of me, don't understand why y'all do that. But I get it, but I don't get it. I get it because it's the programming. I get you was programmed to think like that. I get that. But if y'all lead with your heart space a lot of the time, then don't leave your mind behind, but lead with your heart space and let your mind be right behind it, you will find so much love and beauty in this world that we are in. Again, I know it's the opposite too, because I'm a dual person. I understand duality, but lean into the beauty. Lean into it. Lean into the ways that we are all the same. Lean into it. Trust me, you'll find ways you're different, but you should lean into how we are all the same. All of us have similar stories. I'm pretty sure you done went through something traumatic. I'm pretty sure you lost someone. I'm pretty sure you struggle with yourself. I'm pretty sure you love someone. I'm pretty sure you want better for yourself. That's how we all alike. So focus on that. That's what the focus should be on. Not how we different, how we're alike. The world would be so much better. Like, I don't want people out here, because see, I think, like I said earlier, y'all want people to be just like you. I don't want nobody out here being just like me. Maybe this is egotistical for me to say. I love myself so much, I get offended if I feel like somebody's trying to be just like me. Because what are you doing? It's only me. What? I'm one of one. I don't want nobody to live their life like mine. That's why I don't go around here. You'll never see me telling women, hey, you should be like this. You should do this. No, generalization, I don't do that. I will tell you, hey, how to protect yourself. I'll tell you how you should love other people. Right? I'm walking in, again, I'm not a Christian, but I walk in the light of what Christ represented it. Because I know I talk that again, I promise y'all, if you really focus on the relationship you have with God, even his prophets, like Jesus and all of those, it starts to make sense how they live their life. And it becomes even easier for you to model your life after that. Because again, Jesus was not about separating himself from other people. You tell this man was supposed to be the Son of God, right? The Most High, the Son of the Most High, the most righteous, the most perfect human. That's what Jesus was, again, supposed to be. And he still experienced what he experienced. He still loved everybody and showed it and showed up. Right? He wasn't doing what y'all was doing. He didn't care if you was a hoe. He didn't care if you he didn't care. He just did not care about that. He wanted you to understand what love really was. And you can't do that if y'all are just out here trying to separate yourselves from everybody else. You just out here, oh, this person is that way. I can't. They're not deserving. They're not worthy. Like, y'all look down y'all nose so fast at other people. It's crazy. It's crazy. And again, I will never act like I've never been that person to do some of these things, because of course I have, but this is the whole pathway that you walk in life to learn, oh, I shouldn't be that way. That's not how I want to model my life. And then eventually, again, when you work on yourself, like I said, that internal battle that you fight, when you start winning, when your soul starts to win the war inside yourself against you being a human, your flesh, when your soul starts to win, you have no choice but to lead in love. You don't even know you don't even remember what it feels like to not lead in love. You don't remember that. So when I tell people, hey, I'm still human, and now I am. I'm still human, and I'm definitely gonna cuss, definitely gonna fuss. I definitely am going to react. I'm definitely gonna have emotions. I'm definitely gonna have feelings, but that don't mean that I don't lead in love with everything. And I think that that's the most important thing. I am out here trying to help people. For real, I want to live a life of service to other people. And that service can come in a multitude of ways. It can be me making you feel better about yourself. It can be me teaching you about God's love. It can be me teaching you how to be a better parent. It could be me teaching you how to get money. It could be a multitude of different things, right? But you have to learn how to lead in love with everything. And still understand that you're going to have that internal battle no matter what. Life will never get easier. You just learn how to take the punches. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to. I think I'm going to end it off on that note today. Happy Thanksgiving to you folks. Y'all don't eat no butterball. Don't eat no butterball. Matter of fact, I'm not eating no turkey tomorrow. I'm not eating no turkey tomorrow. I'm not eating. When I say y'all, I can't get. I don't know if y'all know. I'm gonna end on this note, but I got people are, as much as I love humans are still fucking batshit crazy. Why are there men at the butterball turkey factories having sex with the turkeys? Why they having sex with turkeys, y'all? Is this the world that we really have to come to? Where they really not getting enough, I don't know, whatever. They not getting none, and they gotta get they gotta go and rape. They gotta go arbor turkeys, bro. I'm not eating turkey tomorrow. No, I don't even care where it come from. Cause now I think every turkey has been defiled. I'm sorry, it's not funny, but oh my god, you gotta laugh because it's really crazy. These people are freaking crazy. Oh my god. But anyway, y'all have, like I said, happy Thanksgiving. And love yourself and love one another. Stop worrying about what other people doing. Bro, we are on borrowed time, in borrowed bodies. This body is ultimately, whatever you see, me being a woman, black, whatever, that shit is not going to matter in about 60 years from now. Because I'm probably not going to be here. So the things that y'all get mad at other people about, them being gay, them being trans, things like that, guess what? When they die, does that matter? No, because they're no longer that person. They're no longer even that person for you to even crucify for what they did in this life. They are a soul. We are all souls. We spend most of our time being a soul, just having a human experience. So love people, man. Even if you don't agree with their way of life, you don't have to, because guess what? You don't have to live it. You don't have to live it. These people don't have to be an example to your children, the excuses that y'all make. Nobody in the world has to be an example to your child but you. Stop looking at other people and thinking that because their way of life is going to affect you in a negative way. It doesn't most of the time. I don't understand. The only thing that will affect you negatively is somebody who is an R worder, a P worder, or a M worder. Right? Somebody being gay is not going to affect you. I promise. It's not. Somebody being trans is not going to affect you. I promise. It's not. You don't have to agree. This is not your permit. This is not me telling you to agree with their way of life. I don't care if you do or don't. But I'm telling you, stop being mean to these people. Stop being nasty to these people. Stop trying to tell them they going to hell when you don't even know fucking hell exists. Stop telling these people that shit because you don't know what you're doing. And if we're going to go to the Bible, God tells y'all in Matthew, I think it was Matthew 7, 21 to 27, you need to be worried about yourself. That's all. Worry about yourself. Because a lot of y'all are doing this in the name of Jesus, and Jesus is going to tell you he don't know you. All of this prophesizing and all this stuff y'all say, again, Matthew chapter 7 is one of my favorite quotes because I swear it applies to almost everyday living. Mind your fucking business. That's basically what it says. And you need to worry about your own relationship with God and how you live in your life. Because while you over here worried about them and telling them that they going to hell and what they doing ain't right, Jesus is over there like, I don't even know who you are. I don't even know you, sis, bruh. While you doing all that, talking to them, you gonna get to them pearly gates. And I'm gonna be like, who are you again? Because relationship, you having that individual relationship with God ain't got nothing to do with other people. Y'all be like, God ain't told you tell these people nothing. That's the devil. You trying to be mean and separate them from yourself. And a lot of times y'all the people who be shunning them, because sexuality is very much so a broad spectrum, a lot of y'all are just shunning yourselves and the feelings that you have about whatever you might have did in the past or whatever you might have thought in the past. Because I'm fully not stupid enough to think that there are not people who are curious, whether they acted on their curiosity or not, of what it's like to be with the same gender. Save that. Y'all be curious. And what you're doing, like I said, is you find your own demon and casting it out on other people. You projecting it to other people when you need to be focused on yourself and loving that part of yourself and understanding that maybe that's just a part of your human experience. Because y'all showing your sexuality too, the very thing that makes us here, that gets us here. You are a product of sex. Oh my God, your parents had to have sex to have you. What's the problem? Anyway, I'm not going to continue this conversation. Y'all, again, be blessed. Happy